Hi guys, I'm back finally after a long time of making a video. So today what I'm going to do is the rare K-pop album tag. I did do this last year, so that will be linked below. I'll put that in the description if you want to check it out. And I'm not going to include any of the albums that I used in my last video. So this is just going to be albums that you haven't seen before, that are actually rare or out of print, harder to find, harder to get, which obviously in my last video I wasn't sure about, didn't know, new things have gone out of press, so I just thought it'd be a good little update for you guys, and then I'll have a little chat with you at the end, just a little update what I've been doing, what I plan to do. So to start off, I'll do this big heavy one. So this is SHINee's fourth live CD, and this is the first time that they did like a packaging like this. It's really big, really heavy. It's a massive photo book as well as the live CDs. It is now out of print. You can't buy it anywhere, I don't think. Maybe the only place I've seen it recently is on the Japanese auction sites. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the butt as well, because this came with a photo card and it's been a nightmare to find a trade. I have keys, by the way, so if anyone wants key and they have Jonghyun, just give me a shout. I'd love to trade with you guys. So I'm really happy that I got my hands on this before it went out of print. It was already quite expensive to buy, but I mean, for the size of it and what you get in it, it was well worth the price. So the next one I'm going to show you guys is Block B's Welcome to the Block. This is the repackaged version. I've said this before, I actually like this better than the limited edition that they had, but yeah, it is now out of print. I had a look around. So when I say to you guys that things are out of print, how I gauge them is I check out the what I think are like the 5 staple sites that most people they order from or have ordered from in the past. So that would be Kpop Mart, Kpop Town, K-Town for You, Yes Asia, and Catch Up CD. And I'll only really say that an album is out of print when all of those 5 sites do not have the album in stock. And also, after doing that, I do like a quick eBay search and kind of see where we're at with that. So next up, I have Loco's Locomotive, his first EP, his first physical release that he did. And this one, again, I couldn't find it anywhere, not even on eBay, like nothing was coming up at all. Loco was the winner of Show Me the Money 1, I think. God forgive me, it might have been the second one. But anyway, and he then joined, I'm pretty sure it was the first one. Then he joined AOMG label, which is run by J Park, and later joined co-CEO, what am I saying? Basically, J Park's label, which is now J Park and Simon D's label. Really great songs on there. Check it out if you can. To be honest, the album in itself, like packaging wise, is nothing special, but it is to be expected with K-hip-hop releases. So whilst we are on the subject of K-hip-hop, I will show you these, and these are, okay, well, apart from this one, this is Supreme Team's discography. So we have their first, is this the mini album or the full album? I think it's like a mini album. Their first mini album, Supreme Team Guide to Excellent Adventure. And then we have the Supremier, their first album. And then the repackage of that, which is Spin-Off, which has probably the song that most people are familiar with, Ding Ding Ding. And this one is a collaboration album with Brown Eyed Soul, which I've actually never seen ever anywhere. Like these ones, maybe sometimes I've seen them on K-pop sites or eBay. For example, the Supremier album I bought from Soompi back in the day, but this one I got from the Japanese auctions. It was like in a bundle with the other two that I needed, which was really good. But yeah, I mean, I guess with K-hip hop albums, they don't produce a lot of them, and especially that, I don't know if it's maybe because there's not a demand for it. I mean, I doubt that most people, they will probably know who Simon D is, but they maybe don't know what he did prior to AOMG, or even know if they had physical releases, whatever. But I have really loved Simon D ever since I got into the K-pop scene, K-hip hop scene as well, and I really like Supreme Team's music. So there's that. Those I don't see anywhere at all. If you're interested in Supreme Team and you want to get any of their physical releases, I would say your best option is to go on the Japanese auction sites, because you do still find them there, and they're really cheap too. I think the last time I seen something, it was like 300 yen, which is really good. And then I also have Hanhei's 365, which again, K-hip hop release. This is signed. I actually bought it second hand from Shawo 360. I'm really happy to get my hands on it. It was an album that I really wanted to get last year. It was on my list of my purchase plans, and it just so happened Shawo 360 was selling it, and you know, it was a bonus, it was a signed version. I didn't realise that this was out of print. I seen it quite frequently on Catch Up CD, and I always wanted to buy it. However, for what it is, the album in itself, it was like, I think over $20, and I was just like, what? Because especially, you know, that kind of packaging, it's a bit, you know, you think that you could maybe perhaps spend the money on something else that's a bit more nicer to sit on your shelf. So I just kind of always kept putting it off, and then all of a sudden one day it was out of stock and I couldn't find it anywhere. So really glad that I was able to find Shawo 360, who sold it to me for a really good price too, considering that it's out of print album and it's signed. So, and next I have Zion T's Red Light. This is his first album that he brought out when he was still under Amoeba Culture. He is now under YG, I think the Black label, but I've always been a really big fan of Zion T, and I think there's a correlation because I got to know Zion T through Supreme Team, through Simon D. So when Red Light came out, I bought it like right away. So that's like a good couple of years ago now. I just realised pretty recently actually that it was out of print. I didn't know that it was out of print. So next, what can I show you guys? There's this, the Shut Up Flower Boy Band OST. I don't buy OSTs very often, but I really enjoyed Shut Up Flower Boy Band when it came out, and it just so happened that my friend was in Korea. I gave her a list of things that I wanted, and that was on it because I really like the songs, especially that, oh my goodness, I can't remember his name. Is it Sungjun? Yeah, I think it's Sungjun, the main character. Really like his voice when he sings. So, but yeah, it's a pretty common thing for OSTs to go out of print, but I didn't realise that this one was out of print. So yeah, that one is also out of print. Next I have Jung Junyeon's first mini album. I think it's just like self-titled, and this is signed. This again, I couldn't find it anywhere. on the 5 sites, and I mean it is like a good few years old now as well, and especially there's like a lot going on with Jung Joon-yoon. Like he's done a couple of things by himself, and then he's done Jung Joon-yoon and his band, and then now I think it's a new group that he has, Drug Restaurant or something like that. Shallow 5 will need to correct me on that if she's watching. I'm sure it's Drug Restaurant, something along those lines. But yeah, so I also have, which I was really surprised, I didn't think that this was out of print either, but it's Block B's Her. Surprisingly enough, you can find the limited version, but not the regular version. I was quite surprised at that. I didn't think that it would be out of print, but I guess maybe because it's a smaller company, maybe that's why. So don't have really the resources to be reprinting them, and maybe people they're going for the limited edition. Just because soon we're going to start getting taller. The next thing I have to show you, I wasn't going to include this, but then I have heard that this version in particular is quite hard to get your hands on, and that is Red Velvet's Ice Cream Cake, the ice cream cake version. So this version is absolutely gorgeous, very colourful and pretty, and I got this from my Secret Santa. So grateful that I got this, honestly. I really lovely of her. But yeah, so as far as I'm aware, the album in itself is not out of print, but this version is not impossible to get, but a lot harder to get than the automatic version. So you'll be pretty lucky if you do get it. Next I have another OST, and this is Descendants of the Sun. Descendants of the Sun, a K-drama that I really enjoyed. Was it even last year? So, I'm just trying to think if it was last year or the year before. I think it was like cross-bordering anyway, but I'm really glad that I bought it when I did, because I did think that due to its popularity the OST would be popular, and that it would go out of stock quite quickly, so I did want to get my hands on it. I only have the first part, and I only really wanted the first part. I did like the songs more on the first part, so next I have FT Island's The Mood. Again, one that I didn't know was a rare out of print album. It seems to be quite a common thing for FT Island albums. They go out of print very quickly. In fact, I think it's a thing of FNC, because I know that there's also problems of AOA, and also this next group that I'm about to show you, which I was really surprised to see, and it is CM Blue. So Can't Stop, this is part 1 and part 2. I couldn't find them anywhere, like on the sites. There's a couple on eBay, but on eBay they are as well quite dear, like very expensive. And keep going with that. Blue Tory I couldn't find anywhere, which was their first physical release. It has I'm a Loner on it, one of probably their most popular songs. And also this album, the Present Best album, which is their, I think it's Japanese tracks that were then made into Korean versions. So got through that quite quickly, I think. Yay, go me! The last one that I have to show you is Shiny, and it is Shiny's Shiny World version A, the green version. Again, I did not know that this was out of print until earlier on this year. No, okay, maybe not earlier on this year, because it was on my album. I keep thinking I'm in 2016. Early on last year. And to be honest, it was an album that I never really kind of thought about getting, since I did have the repackaged Amigo. But I don't know if it's something about like knowing that something's out of print, it makes you want it more. But I found that for a really, really great price on the Japanese auctions. And to my surprise, I thought I was buying it second hand, but it was actually a brand new CD. But yeah, this one, and I believe also the B version, is now going out of print because a lot of people can't buy the A version, so they'd buy the B version. But I'm sure the B version is out of print too. And I think that SM are kind of doing that these days. Like, they're not going to be reprinting albums, but instead just doing the repackages. Because in my last video I talked about Dreamgirl and how it's out of stock on like a few places, and it's the same story with Why So Serious. The same thing is happening. It's still available in most places, but there's not much stock. And I also realised that Lucifer version B was out of stock on a couple of places too. It was out of stock on Kpop Mart, it was out of stock on Yes Asia, it was out of stock on Catch Up CD, so that's another one to watch out for. So yeah, those are the out of print, rare, whatever you want to call it, albums that I have at the moment. If you guys want to share any other albums that you know are out of print or a bit harder to find, please feel free to leave it in the comments, because I think that these videos are also very helpful for people who are collecting to know these things. And yeah, so I've not been around in a while, I know. There's a few reasons for that. I've not had much money disposable for buying K-pop because I've had other things to pay for, and on top of that, really, there's not been too much that I wanted to buy. I'm kind of at a point where I'm really happy with what I have collection wise. There's nothing that I particularly like, how to explain it. I'm guessing like at the moment there's a couple of bits and pieces that I need to get, mainly shiny things. But apart from that, it's only really going to be a case of having to buy newer releases that they're going to come out. So there's that as well. And just general life being a bit busy, a bit hectic. So since after Christmas, I've only had one package, and that was for the Wings You Never Walk Alone repackage. And along with that, I got Big Bang's Made album, and I got Hoodie's album, finally. Oh my goodness, I've been wanting that for the longest of time, but I didn't want to just order it on its own. I wanted to wait until I had another couple of things I wanted to get. So yeah. And I mean, I did do quite a few hauls, so that not buying K-pop meant I didn't have much content for you. But here I am with a video finally, and there are a couple of videos that I still want to do. Like I mentioned before, I had a purchase plan video last year. So like I said, since I feel like I'm at a point where I'm quite happy with my collection and there's nothing really like older that I want to get, a purchase plan video for this year, I would literally have nothing to put on it really. So perhaps instead I will just make a video showing you how I did with my purchase plan, what I managed to get off of it and what I still need to get. And I also really wanted to do a comparison video similar to the one that I did was it last year as well, of the K-pop websites, like where you buy K-pop from. And I made all my notes and everything, and then it was around that time that From Japan changed up their system completely, which really threw me off because I can't compare From Japan now because it's like totally different way of working, and I have no intentions of using that again. So perhaps I'll need to get some assistance from people who have used it before, like since they've changed up their system, maybe. But other than that, I have all my notes for Zen Market and all my notes for Bai, and I do at one point want to make that because especially the Japanese auctions is very scary thought, and it is quite a hard thing to get your head around. So if it helps you guys out, then of course I'd be willing to do that. Maybe a updated photo card collection. We'll see. I put like a little deposit into Zen Market, so I should be getting some stuff from there too. So I'll probably have a Zen Market haul for you at some point, like maybe next month or something. So yeah. Thank you for watching, guys, especially if you stayed around to hear me have a little chat at the end. Hope this was helpful for you.